Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It's Monday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball on Memorial Day live show. Got a lot of questions out there. Hey, guys, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen on Monday? Don't worry. We're bringing that heat live as always. 5 games currently live on the Major League Baseball card. A lot of interesting stuff to go over today. And inquiring minds want to know, are the Yankees team total, are they going to hit that 1 because they're already in the top of the 6th inning? They have not scored yet. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm Donnie Seymour, Jason Radowitz, and also Kyle Purviance. Good stuff here on Memorial Day. Jason, how you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Got up early to look at this early slate in the MLB. Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there, and thank you all for your service, or if you have a family member, of course. We thank you and we appreciate all that you guys do. It's a great day, though. It's Monday, lots of baseball, some NBA playoffs tonight. I can't get any better than this.
No, I feel so much better. I was struggling a little bit late last week, but boy, refreshed, recharged, ready to go, and excited to be here. And yes, Kyle, thank you for your service for actually showing up today. Awesome.
You know it. Well, that's why I did my drinking early, because it takes a couple days to recover.
And
so I'm
afterwards.
ready. Yeah. So, and then right afterwards, of course, we're going straight to the course right afterwards. But no, great day baseball. I second Jason's sentiments. Thank you to everyone who serves and their families, and I hope you all have a fantastic Memorial Day. I'm excited to get into the action. There's some good spots today and no weather issues. I mean, one game, maybe a little bit of weather, so that is really nice today as well.
Without all those people that sacrificed everything so us 3 knuckleheads can get on here and talk Major League Baseball on Memorial Day, we certainly thank you, and I echo those sentiments across the board here. Much better generation than mine, I always like to say. Those guys, they gave it all so we can have the luxury and liberties that we do have today. Let's get into the Major League Baseball card, but before we do that, 86,200 subscribers here on sportsbookreview.com. Thank you guys for all the love and support across the network from whatever show we go over. You guys come in here, say hello, chat it up, give us the views that we need to keep on powering for it. So awesome stuff from you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on when we go live to talk Major League Baseball. You can come in here and say hello. So let's get cracking here. Live game card up, and I'm looking right now, and as I segued in to open the show, guys, let's start with the Yankees game right here. It's 3-0. It's no surprise the Yankees haven't scored yet. It's just what they do. Taking a Yankees team total before the game, why do it to yourself? Yesterday, in the 7th inning, in a Tariq Skubal start with the Detroit bullpen, we got a number of 1. So we had 9 outs to get a run. And, of course, they got 2 runs in that game. No promise that says, hey, they're definitely going to do it. But here we are again today, Jason, in a Yankees game in Yankee Stadium. They haven't scored yet. I look right now, 1.5. When's that 1 coming, Jason? And when are we jumping in here? And what do you think about this game?
Yeah, it's coming. Better than anybody. It's coming. And right now, of course, the Rays, they look like the best team in baseball, and they're playing like it right now. Really good pitching, really good hitting, lots of action there. So it's been terrific watching the Rays play. If you've been betting on them in the last 2 weeks, you've made a heck of a lot of money. But yeah, the Yankees should be able to score at least 1 run here. So we'll see what happens. But like Judge was really close, and a couple other guys had some solid looks there. So yeah, Yankees should be able to score. But they are the Yankees, and right now they just got swept by the Tigers. So yeah, that's that.
Like, they could barely score against the Tigers. They struggled each and every game. The one game they were supposed to win, they were down to their last strike. Detroit, they had a 2-run walk-off home run. First time, Kyle, in 20 years that the Detroit Tigers swept the Yankees at Tiger Stadium. So as I'm looking at the score right now, there is a man on first base for Tampa tweeting out there were 3 plays that I like there. I shouldn't say 3 plays. I like 3 situations I thought were decent here. Tampa Bay, Boston, and Atlanta. Tampa Bay's team total was 3.5, and I'm sitting here obviously in the top of the 6th inning with the runner on. They already have 3 on the board, so looking to cash in on that ticket. Did you see anything, Kyle, in this game that you were looking at, or maybe even live now as we see the numbers are locked up? So once they reappear, it was, I believe, a 7.5 as a total for the game live. Any thoughts on this game here in the Bronx?
Well, I think I would do exactly what you guys said. I'll just wait for that line to go to 1 and then jump on it like we always do with the Yankees. And real quick, before the opportunity goes away, I mean, I did like the Milwaukee run line coming in, but right now, the Tigers have the bases loaded and 1 out. Yeah. You can probably still get a plus number on Detroit. So that might be something I would race in to do before they score a run and that line moves. But bases loaded, 1 out, you're getting a huge plus money price on the Tigers. Might be a time to jump in right there.
Also, real quick thoughts, and, because a lot of this show is educational purposes, which means what we think should take place in a game is how we like to play it out and bet it. Take a look at the Yankees situation right now. It's 3-0, top of the sixth with 2 men on. The reason why I even like the Yankees, they can't hit anybody, but some situations just make sense. If you have 9 outs to go with a team total of 1, that means you're going to flip the lineup around. Everybody's going to get the bat again. Do you know what was going to take place yesterday in the Detroit game? It's a bad bullpen already. You're not going to see their setup guy. You're not going to see their closer in a game where they're up 6 runs. Case in point, that coming now down to Tampa Bay. Let's just say Tampa Bay cashes in this inning with another 3 runs. They get to 6 runs. It's no longer pressing need for Tampa Bay to make sure they use their best bullpen guys, because who cares but us gamblers if they score 1 or 2 runs? And also, Jason, we bring up the point time and time again. You're looking at a team total, let's just say it's 1. If they get a runner on base in the 9th inning, you know what happens. They walk to second base with a runner in scoring position for free. Happens all the time. So just some food for thought of some situational scenarios, because if you look at the Yankees team total of 1, and let's just say the game is 2-0 or 3-0, you're getting setup guys and you're getting closers, which makes it a lot harder to score in the 9th inning. But if it's 6-0, a lot easier to score on the back end. So just keep that in mind. Let's flip it around to some of these games. Jason, I'm going to get your intake on this one as well. Twins, Orioles, Lopez, Barrios. A lot of people on Twitter surprised that this game is 1-1 here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I like the overs. I like the over 2 in this spot. I thought the Twins over 4.5 team total would be a good play before the game began. So kind of interesting to see. It's just 1-1 in the 6th inning right now. Of course, the game is tied, so we're going to at least see 3 runs in this game, but can't guarantee any more. I'd be careful at this point. Of course, both bullpens have not been very good this year, just in general. So do expect more runs. It looks like the over right now is sitting at 5.5. Probably hits. If I were to lean, I do like the over 5.5. Probably can wait for better spots and maybe wait for the number to even go down a little bit more. I'm not sure what's going on in the game right now in terms of situations, but could probably get that number a little bit lower. But yeah, again, I do think that we'll see some runs in this game. Both bullpens have not been very good, so I still think we'll see runs.
No, exactly. And I do think it's a nice day in Baltimore. You would figure the Twins would be able to hit, haven't done so yet, but also making the rounds on Twitter. Mountcastle's home run was not the issue of the home run. It was that the center fielder, Refsnyder, had no idea baseball was played with the center field wall, so he drills at full speed and bounced off like a crash test dummy. Thank goodness he was okay, but still kind of funny to look at. Let's flip it down to the next game on the card here. Philadelphia Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds. Hey, surprise, surprise! The Phillies haven't scored yet, even though they're getting a couple players on base. I know Jason's happy. I'll get his take in just a moment. But Kyle, looking at the Philadelphia Phillies here versus the Reds, the Phillies are the least fundamental team I've ever seen in my life in Philadelphia. And we've seen some dire straits in the 90s with Phillies baseball and certainly through some of the 80s. I don't know where the team is going at this point. Just because Bryce Harper's going to come back doesn't fix these issues. It's a team that's going nowhere and got pegged by Tampa Bay. Looking at this game here, total of 7. Reds currently favored at 135. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like the Reds. And look, Velasquez has been better, and it is a bummer that Winker isn't in the lineup, as we were talking about before the show. You always want those extra lefties when the righty's on the mound. But it's really hard to trust the Phillies, right? And I was looking at Phillies team total before the game of under 4.5 at minus 135. I don't think I've ever bet an under on a team total, but if I was going to, it would be this lineup and it would be this situation. I think the under for Philly makes a ton of sense. Now, the Reds bullpen's not very good. These are 2 really bad bullpens, so you might see a lot more runs later in the game. But an under 4.5, do we really see the Phillies scoring 5 runs? It almost never happens, right? So I'd say the under 4.5 makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure what the numbers moved to now. It's probably dropped a little bit.
3.5 plus 100, Kyle, for the Reds, and the Phillies are 3 minus 106 right now.
Yeah, and I would expect the Reds to get over 3. And I still kind of like the under for Philly. I just don't trust the lineup. I know Real Muto's in there, et cetera, but I just don't trust that lineup. I trust the Reds bullpen a little bit more than that lineup, and that's saying something because the Reds bullpen stinks. So right now it's Reds or nothing for me, and it's not too steamed up right now, so I would be jumping on the Reds.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought process behind it, because I think you're bringing up some key luxuries here where you're saying, all right, Phillies can't hit left-handed pitching all that well, but that bullpen is wretched for the Reds, and that is a hitter's ballpark. So if you see the quote-unquote Yankees-Mets team total over 1, which we love and just about see every night, you might see that with the Phillies, which isn't a bad option because you don't have the hammer coming in to close the door late in game situations. I want to get back to you on this one, Jason. What were your thoughts on this game pregame? I know you have a wager on this one.
Yeah, right now I'm on the Reds minus 115 in the first 5. Of course, that moved to around minus 130 when the game began. But it was really McCutchen, Miller, Segura. They combined before this game, of course, 7 for 44 against Miley in their careers. Miley already has a no-hitter on the year and has 2 games where, yeah, he struggled, but the rest, 2 earned runs or less in all those other starts. I did want Winker in the lineup and did put the wager in before knowing Winker was on the lineup. That hurt a little bit, but just really the Phillies aren't that great offensively to begin with, and that projected lineup that they have out there right before the game, and it's about the same lineup that they put out there. 52% in the last 30 days ground balls, and Miley has been getting a solid amount of ground balls recently. Also, you got Velasquez. He's also been really lucky so far this season. If you look at his numbers in May, yeah, he's only allowed like 3 earned runs the entire month of May, and it's really been more luck than anything with balls in play, just being caught and whatnot. Right now, the BABIP of 228 and a left on base percentage of 94.1. I just figured that would regress at some degree, and Miley's been terrific against some of those bats in the lineup and really has been really great this year outside of maybe 2 starts throughout. But I did take first 5 instead of the full game because Miley coming off the IL, can't expect him to go deeper. And like Kyle said, the Reds bullpen is nothing to rave about.
Yeah, exactly, guys. So what we're basically saying here is, like, hey, even if you draw a little bit dead on the lineup here, there's always spots to come in and get out of games. You could hedge your wager. You could say, hey, it's not going my direction, so I took the over 4.5, but now I can get out of it at this price. Live betting is really your best friend in these type of spots because even if you had a total, say, hey, man, I really like it over 4. Or let's just say Kyle's point of view, if you take the Phillies, let's just say that it was 4, right? Under 4 for the Phillies team total. Well, you might be looking at a 1 in the 7th inning. You press the button for go over. There's a really good shot. You hit 1, you're free rolling on a middle, 2, 3, or 4 runs. You're still going to be able to take down a wager that wins. So always keep those mindsets open for late in the game batting situations here. 2 other games on the card here. Looks like Burns was a little bit on the ropes here versus the Tigers, but got out of it. Jason, any pregame thoughts here between the Tigers and the Brewers? How about this? Minus 430. It's a tie game. It's minus 430 right now in the Brewers. Talk to me, Jason. You laying that? We laying it?
No, I don't trust the Brewers offense very much. Still, of course, don't trust the Tigers. And like we just talked about, bases are loaded, 1 out, and the Tigers found a way not to score a run in a game against Burns where, like, they would need just a couple runs where they would, be able to potentially win that game. I'm watching this Reds game. Just got a foul ball. But anyway, yeah, I love Burns. He's been terrific all year. Starting to maybe struggle just a little bit more, walking guys a little bit more than he did. Obviously, didn't walk any in like April. So that's something to look at. And you just don't really trust the Brewers lineup, but I just figured the Brewers could be able to score a couple runs against Alexander. So I do like the Brewers in the first 5. But, again, the run support by the Brewers when their aces are on the mound, very slim to none. So it's hard to back the Brewers with these guys on the mound.
All right, quick thoughts here. San Diego Padres and the Chicago Cubs. Paddock versus Stewart, 1-0 here on the Padres. I did see Tatis come across the plate here early, so that is a quick lead for them. Minus 3-0. It's amazing. They have a 1-0 lead on the road. They're minus 305 in that game, and the total now sits at 10.5. They just locked it up right now because maybe a pickoff move to first base, but still in the top of the 6th inning. And he was safe at first base. So first and third with 1 out is what I'm showing here. So maybe some more runs here on the board coming for the Padres. And I believe it's first and third. I can't really see
it. Is first and third, 1 out.
And the always fun double play ball for the Padres. So the Cubs get out of the inning on that one. Man, I'll tell you, watch him. By the way, Jason, you're going to celebrate 2-run blast here by the Cincinnati Reds.
We told you that. We told you to do the damage. So
there you go. Blast.
Woo! It wasn't Winker, but it was a lefty. So we'll take it. I think that was Schrock's first home run of the season.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Nobody knows who he is. I don't know who he is, but probably in place for Winker and just did that. So happy to see that, but no, we'll continue with the show.
All right, going through all these games here. Now, the one thing you guys know I'm going to do is we're going to keep an eye on some certain situations, but the fun of each and every day is trying to peg that Yankees number. So I'm going to leave that on the board. Looks like the Yankees just got out of the inning, which from a Yankees perspective with a total over 1, I wanted the Tampa Bay Rays to run it up in that and get 5 or 6 runs here. That's not the case. Here we go with the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th inning. Keep in mind, when you're looking for team totals, most places will take those down around midway through the 7th inning. So if it's after the top of the 7th inning goes down for the Rays, you have a decision to make. But if it's 1, what the hell else are you waiting for? You waiting for a half of a run? You're just going to jump in or jump out or leave it is. We're not going to wait for guys to get on base. So we'll have a decision to make soon. And that Yankees number right now, 1.5 at -108, so creeping lower and lower. Let's get to some of the marquee games on the board here today. And let's start with the Angels and the San Francisco Giants. Bundy and Cueto on the mound today. How about this one? -148 in New Jersey as a favorite for San Francisco. -147 offshore as a favorite for San Francisco. 8s across the board. Some places with juice showing a 7.5. Jason, we'll start with you first today. Angels, Giants. What you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking Dylan Bundy has been awful this season.
Yes.
0-5 with a 6.45 ERA, something silly like that. Yeah, it has not been good for Bundy. And I like the Giants offense. I like the Giants in general. They've been really, really fun this year. Maybe overachieving. Maybe this is actually what they're all about. But you look at Cueto, and I think the line is kind of lower for the Giants at home because Cueto has struggled recently since coming back from his injury. His batting average of balls in play in the last 30 days, I'm going to read this, 443.443. That's not going to last. That's going to regress. And the Angels are a lineup that they always seem to find gloves in the first place. So I do think Cueto has a much better outing against the Angels. I think there will be less hits. He really hasn't walked many batters in the first place. I think he's really been pretty good outside of just balls in play, just becoming hits. And again, the Giants, they're going to have some lefties in the lineup that could do damage against Bundy. Bundy in his last 35 plate appearances against the lefties, 486 weighted OBA, ISO of 394. So you're going to see guys like Crawford, Yastrzemski, Duggar. I'm not sure if the lineup came out yet, but yeah, there's tons of the lefties in the lineup. Probably 4 if you had Alex Dickerson. Dickerson hasn't had the best season, but another lefty in the bat that will be big. Also walking a ton of righties. So you have Posey in there, Flores in there. They're both walking a ton against righties in the first place. So I think guys will be on base. I think guys could be able to drive some runners in. The lefties will drive them in. The righties will get on base. So I do like the Giants here. If you look at Cueto, his FIP 2.63 on the year and his ERA 3.86. So it shows you just how unlucky he has been this year. Bundy is 6.5 ERA, also a 4.56 FIP. So yeah, he's been a little bit unlucky, but it's also been struggles just from Bundy in general, especially with runners in scoring position and just runners on base in general. So like the Giants get on base, they should be able to score some runs and help out Cueto there. And of course, going for that full game, because I do like the Giants bullpen, way over the Angels bullpen in every single way you look at it. So if the Giants have the lead, I do expect them to keep the lead through those 5 innings and into the final 9 innings, even at home.
Well, ladies and gents, as we're going over that after Jason, hits this game up, I have a couple quick thoughts here, but we have 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rich Hill's now out of the game. Those New York Yankees are at a 1 at -102. So what we're going to do, you could free roll that 1 right now with another guy coming up to the plate. But as soon as the Yankees make an out, I'm going to the FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm pressing that trigger, and we're going to get 1. It's now down to a half at -146. So let's just wait for the end of the inning. We're going to jump on the Yankees. Again, Rich Hill, I don't know what Rich Hill has gotten himself into, throwing 87 miles an hour with jump.
We got another out.
Guy. So they got the other out here. So let me just watch this play. It's funny that I actually would rather have the 1 at a lot of juice, but they have the half at 146, which I still may jump in, which means 1 run doesn't even push, fellas. 1 run actually wins, which is insanity. But we'll get back to this game here. The Angels and the San Francisco Giants. I know Mike Trout's out of the lineup, and I know Shohei Ohtani is out of the lineup today. This is embarrassing. This team should be like Milwaukee, like in that low budget area where you don't have like that huge payroll and the ability to earn. This is an embarrassing lineup for the Angels, which seems like it's a repeat effort year after year after year, Kyle. Looking at this game between the Giants and the Angels, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the Giants full game here. I just think it makes a ton of sense. Look, outside of Walsh and Rendon, what else are the Angels going to have in that lineup? And I'm not the biggest fan of Johnny Cueto, but I don't know how many pitchers. I mean, we talk about this every day, but Dylan Bundy is one of the worst pitchers in baseball. The Giants, one of the best home teams in baseball. They have lost 3 straight at home. But you look at Bundy, he's pitched 9 games, given up 9 home runs. So you're going to get a home run most likely tonight out of one of these lefties, maybe Yastrzemski or something. He's actually had a home run in 1 career at bat. His only at bat against Bundy he knocked it out of the park because Bundy stinks. So it's a fade for Bundy here for me. I don't think it's steamed up too much where you can just take the full game here. What do we get? Minus 145, minus 148 offshore. So, yeah, I like the Giants full game here. I like that Giants lineup in DFS as well. And I actually don't mind Cueto. Mid to lower tier priced on DraftKings if you're playing DFS. I think he's fine as well. Just not a lot to be afraid of in that Angels lineup. So it's Giants or bust for me today.
All right, let's keep it moving down the list as we go here. Boston and Houston. It's going to be Rodriguez, the lefty, versus Urquidy, the righty, on the mound today. Roughly a push across the board. The roof is closed in Houston today. Slight favorite, as we said, depending where you're shopping at either way at this point. 9s across the board. Jason, we'll start with you first in this game. When I look first at the lineups here, to me, Boston has the advantage here. You got ISO power numbers off the charts for the first 6 guys going up against right-handed pitching. Urquidy, a 5.04 xFIP on the season, doesn't strike out a lot of batters here and is susceptible to some right-handed pitching. So one of the plays, which we're going to go over in just a few moments, I like Boston's team total in this one. What do you think of, Jason?
Yeah, Urquidy, he's allowed at least 2 runs in every start in April. Now he's looked a little bit better in May. He went 2 games with 7 innings pitched. And then versus the Angels, he went 3.2 innings pitched and then went on the IL after that. But yeah, the Red Sox, I think, have the better lineup. But just know that Rodriguez has allowed 4 earned runs or more in 4 of his last 5 starts. Only went 6 innings in 1 start in those 5 starts in May. So he's been a little bit unlucky but also has not been very good. 38 hits in 25 innings. That's a lot of base runners for Rodriguez, but like Donnie and I always kind of talk about, it seems like Rodriguez gets a ton of run support when he's on the mound. So, yeah, I know the roof might be closed and all, but the over in this game does sound pretty good. Over 8.5, you get 4 runs from each side, and you can cash an over ticket between both these offenses that are pretty good. And so I would recommend the over 8.5 in this one.
All right, and the time has come here. I waited for the shift off of a half of a run. I did play right here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. The Yankees team total over 1, plus 112 with 9 to go. So if it loses, you're not losing any juice. If it wins, fantastic. So I didn't want to lay that minus 146 with the half run. I'd rather have the 1 than maybe free roll into a victory. So we are in play on that game. Kyle, your thoughts here. Boston Red Sox and Houston Astros. I do think Boston scores some runs in this game. Come on, Houston, open the roof. Look at that. Arizona is in a desert. They open the roof every night. What gives here? What gives here?
I'm bummed out about that because I like the over 8.5 and over 9. I'm seeing 9 at some places, and there should be runs in this game. I think you can stack both lineups in DFS. The righties for Houston obviously should be able to tee off Rodriguez, and of course the righties for Boston. Everyone for Boston should be able to tee off Urquidy. I always mess up that guy's name, but I think I got it right this time. But Bogarts, Hernandez, Martinez, Devers, all these guys have nice advantages today. I like the Boston lineup, a slight lean to Boston overall, but for me, taking the over in this game makes a lot of sense. Could even be a value menu wager. I just wish that I would feel a lot better about it if the roof was open, but stack these bats, stay away from the pitchers, runs should be scored in this game.
The fact that the Houston Texans and the Houston Astros somehow went to the public and fleeced them for actually getting a retractable roof, which they never want to open anywhere, anytime, any place, is outrageousness. If it's 86 degrees, get your ass out there and enjoy the day. Jeez, that's, for another day at this point. I can't believe that a city of Houston has an actual retractable roof that never opens. I could see it's like, hey, guys, it's 105 today. We're not – okay, cool, let's stay inside. 85 degrees? Come on, man, enough with that nonsense here. But I do think it's a decent wager on that game there to take a look at the Boston Red Sox. Let's keep going, 957, 958. Flaherty and Bauer, good matchup here on the mound here. Flaherty, a decent pitcher here this year so far for the Cardinals, and we know what we get out of Trevor Bauer, which is why we're seeing 6.5s opening, but actually moved up to a 7 across the board, which is ridiculous. Like, 7's a high number. Come on, man. It's as low as it basically can get. A huge favorite towards the Dodgers, minus 188. Decent looking lineup expected today for the Dodgers. What are you looking at today, Jason, in this game, if you have any action?
Bauer has now walked 4 batters in his last 2 outings. So that's been a little bit weird for Bauer, but I think he turns it around tonight. He's allowed some power to lefties, 175 in his last 50 plate appearances versus lefties. But if you look at the lineup, I'm not sure it's out yet, but if you look at the lefties in the Cardinals lineup, Edman, Carlson, Williams, they all have no power against righties whatsoever. So I do think the Dodgers are the big play here. Bellinger back in the lineup, another big lefty against Flaherty.
That's a Bellinger.
And Flaherty had his first bad outing in his last start and probably starts to regress just a little bit. So, yeah, I do like the Dodgers here. Minus 0.5 in the first 5. You can even look at minus 1.5 in the first 5. I like the Dodgers here.
Yeah, when you're looking at lineups, it's actually not a bad lineup per se on paper. If we take a look at the Cardinals going up against Bauer, but how they face against right-handed pitchers, we'll see how that works out. But the Dodgers looking like the Dodgers of old now all of a sudden, Kyle. Betts, Muncy, Turner, Bellinger, Smith, Beatty, Taylor, and Lux. It looks like they're ready to hit their stride here. What are you thinking in this game?
Yeah, well, maybe Betts, right? We got to see. Isn't he having some allergy thing in his eyes?
Anticipated in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hell. Mr. MLB is the weirdest guy. Doesn't just, I don't know, always getting the days off. But yeah, you would have to favor the Dodgers a little bit here. But I will say this: there is some value on St. Louis. If you just sort of look at what these pitchers have done against these teams recently. In Bauer's last start against St. Louis, he got absolutely rocked. Scored 9 fantasy points. Flaherty, on the other hand, his last 3 against the Dodgers, 43, 49, and 55. So he's pitched really, really well against this team. But when you look at it, just look at the 3-year averages, this year averages, righty versus righty, the Dodgers lineup certainly profiles better than St. Louis. So I would lean the Dodgers, but I do not think I saw in the chat box, someone said value on the Cardinals, and I do think there is some value there, and there's something to be said for it. This could be a sneaky no-runs first inning. We'll see if Bellinger's back in the groove yet. He hasn't looked great so far, hasn't done anything special since he's been back here. So a slight lean to the Dodgers. I do like him at minus 0.5. You're getting a good number on him in the first 5 innings with a righty on the mound at minus 120, minus 0.5. But the Cardinals could be a sneaky underdog here.
Value menu wagers firing on that fast food. I do have one today. We already looked at the game itself. The Boston Red Sox team total over 4.5 at minus 105. Would have loved to have the roof open, but you get that once every century down in Houston. But I do think it matches up well. If we're taking a look versus right-handed pitching and looking at the lineup now that is confirmed for the Boston Red Sox, Hernandez, ISO power number 206, Verdugo 217, Martinez 292, Bogarts 252, Devers 394, and Santana 517. That's enough damage to get it done. You do always have to have a running mate, so we'll see what Eduardo Rodriguez can give up as a lefty to that lineup with the Houston Astros. But hey, 2-2, 3-3s turn into 4-4s, then you can cash those in. I do think it's a decent shot here that the Red Sox can get the 5 runs. You have the full 9 at-bats here being the road team. That's where I'm going with my value menu wager. Jason, what's on the value menu today for you?
Well, the Reds just scored 2 more runs against your Phillies, so now it's 4-0 there. Velasquez was actually 0 for 29 for opponents when it came to runners in scoring position. That was the first hit against him with runners in scoring position all season long. Said he was going to regress, and finally seeing some regression there from another lefty in that lineup. But when it comes down to value, looking at these Athletics at minus 135, you're getting a really good team against a really bad team in the Mariners at just minus 135. And I know the Mariners have had the Athletics number a little bit recently, but at the end of the day, Gilbert is going to get the start. Has not looked great to start the year, and Caprillion now getting the start for the Athletics. They're 3-0 with him on the mound, and he's looked a little bit better than Gilbert so far this year as well. So Athletics minus 135, a much better team as a small favorite against a really, really bad team. There's value on the Athletics.
There you go. Where are we firing for that fast food? Where's that value at today on your card for yourself here, Kyle?
Well, I'm going to take those Giants minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 100. Essentially even money. I like that anytime I can get something like that with the Giants at home, fading Bundy. I think that makes a whole lot of sense. I also like the no-runs first inning in that Diamondbacks-Mets game. Obviously, DeGrom for the Mets. Merrill Kelly has been better recently. It's a bad Mets lineup, even if they get Alonso back. There's still not a lot to believe in there. And Kelly has pitched very, very well against the Mets in his last 3 starts, 60, 39, and 38. So I think no runs first inning makes a lot of sense. And my tiny little home run prop here, a little sprinkle on Ronald Acuna in that Braves game. I think he goes yard tonight. Love that Atlanta lineup. We're going to talk more about that in our best bets and bankers, but he should be able to not the Braves, first of all, should be able to smash Joe Ross, and I think Acuna can knock one out of the park, so I'll take a home run prop on him as well.
I like where you're going on that one. As Bruce Buffer would say right now, it's time. Best bets and bankers on the card, because you know who's excited? This guy right here, finally getting back into the ring. 17-9 on the season on my plays of the day. We are returning today on Memorial Day Monday. And Kyle, what a beautiful segue you just gave here, because we are going right down to hot Atlanta, already fired on the team total over 4.5 at minus +122 at the FanDuel Sportsbook as my best bet and banker. Here's the reason why. Joe Ross, not a great pitcher. Close to an xFIP of 5, not a huge strikeout guy, walks way too many batters, and is susceptible to lefties. So we take a look at the lineup today, and I'm just going to read you, 7 batters in this lineup. They did bring up a guy who I don't have too many statistics on, but of the 7 regular starters here for the Atlanta Braves, I'm just going to go down the ISO power numbers here. 309, 252, 203, 211, 189, 245, and 250. And again, keep in mind, this isn't like with 10 at-bats, 20 at-bats. Some of these guys, 160-plus at-bats. They rake versus righties. 80 degrees down in Atlanta, a light wind blowing in between 3 to 4 miles an hour. Not going to have any issues in this game whatsoever. They should light up Joe Ross at least to get 5 runs in this, and then to back it up, let's just say we love the ISO power numbers. I said, look, Joe Ross walks close to 10% of the batters that he faces. Take a look at the walk numbers here for the Braves entering into today versus right-handed pitchers. 12.5%, 18%, 10%, 14%, 14%, and 12%. They're going to get on base. There will be traffic. They just have to cash in. I think they do today. My best bet and banker, Atlanta Braves team total over the 4.5. Take it away, Jason. What you got today?
Yeah, so again, I'm on the Reds right now. In the first 5 innings, but also the Giants -139 in the full game. I know it's gone up to about -145. I agree with that, up to -150. I do like the Giants in this spot, and we already talked about that game, so don't need to go any further. But Giants -139 in the full game. It's an official play for me.
There you go. What do you got, Kyle? Best bet on your card. What is it? Where's it coming from?
Well, we're on the same page today because I'm going to take the Braves -0.5 in the first 5 at -135. I think they come out, jump all over Joe Ross. Morton has looked really good in his last 2 starts. I think he can tame that Nationals lineup early on. So give me the Braves -0.5 first 5, -135. That's my best bet and banker of the day.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Let's get that thunder and lightning here on a Monday, even though it's beautiful on the East Coast for once here as we get the odds lightning round and have some fun with that. We did cover a few games. There is a doubleheader today between the White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. We'll skip over that because, again, it's no use to wasting time with me going, well, I don't like it, and Kyle going, we don't know what the lineups are, and Jason going, yeah, I could see what happens.
Exactly.
So just forget about that all the way together. But I do want to get some quick thoughts once again quickly from you, Jason. Oakland and Seattle, Caprillion and Gilbert, 8.5. Not a great hitters ballpark, but there's no reason to believe that Oakland can't score some runs here against Seattle.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the A's lineup just came out, but there's so many guys that have so much high power against righties in the last 30 days. The projected lineup, and I don't know if the lineup came out, I'm assuming it did, but earlier, the projected lineup, and I'm sure it's very close to what the lineup is now, 10.2% walks against righties and lower than 20% strikeouts versus righties. So the A's should be able to get on base and have plenty of guys in the lineup that have power that can definitely do damage in terms of extra base hits. So I do like the Athletics here. I said earlier, Caprillion, they're 3-0 with him on the mound. Hasn't looked amazing, really hasn't looked like fantastic, but has done his job, has done enough for the Athletics. And Gilbert coming off it's more of a better start than his previous 2, but not going deep in any game. Then you get the Mariners bullpen. So I do like the Athletics -135 in the full game. This Mariners lineup, really, there's nothing there outside of the top 3 guys, and there's just no consistency whatsoever.
Let's go over 2 more games here on the card today, 977, 978. That's Pittsburgh and Kansas City. And interesting when I bring it up because not because these are 2 powerhouse teams. Cool's going to be on the mound versus Minor the lefty. But the fact that offshore at Pinnacle, Minor is favored by -190 in this one, Kyle.
It's crazy, right? But it's hard to trust these teams. But Minor is a much better pitcher than Cool. Let's just say it here. Cool isn't cool. So you got to favor the Royals here. It's hard to trust a team. You're getting a -0.5 in the first 5 at -130. So I don't mind that. I would actually lean the under in this game, under 8. Neither lineup really imposes a whole lot of fear in me. And I will say Minor on DraftKings, 7,900. It's a little bit cheap going up against that Pittsburgh lineup. And he's been pretty good his last couple of starts, a 49, a 30, and a 39. You get that at 7,900 on DraftKings. You're sitting in a good spot. So Mike Minor on DraftKings, I like that, and I'll take the Royals -0.5 in the first 5.
All right, let's clean up one more game here. We always leave the Mets the best for last for Jason. DeGrom versus Kelly on the mound. It's always interesting to see, Merrill Kelly's a terrible pitcher, but the fact that the Mets have nothing in their lineup, and we can always anticipate them doing nothing even if they have a great lineup with DeGrom on the mound, 176 at FanDuel, 172 offshore Pinnacle. It honestly still seems light. It really does.
Right now, the Mets are just a weird team. things are getting really weird for them. They just had a big game where they scored 13 runs, and then they get some rain delays in between all of that. So, yeah, the Mets offense might be coming around just a little bit, but you can't rely on that just yet. We need some more consistency out of them. And obviously, DeGrom should have a great game. So I do like the Mets in the first 5. I think that they can get a run or two. They just had these misfits and these guys with chips on their shoulder. These guys just kind of perform and they just figure it out and find a way. And although Kelly's been good, he hasn't been excellent. And there's a way the Mets can definitely score a run or two early in the game. Of course, it doesn't happen too often. It's not an official play. Just throwing it out there that I do like the Mets in minus 0.5 first 5 with DeGrom on the mound.
I just wagered on it, Jason. I just put a wager on it because you're
a guaranteed best bet right there. Congratulations, Jason. But no, that's the card for today on a Monday, which is great. So clearing the bases here, as we always like to do, if you're just watching the show for the first time, let's get into it and recap our best bets bankers and also our value menu wagers. I'll start with myself first. I'm going to go Boston's team total over 4.5 minus 105. Then my best bet and banker is the Atlanta Braves team total 4.5 minus 122. Jason, recap for us today. What you got?
Yep, I'm on the Giants full game money line. Got it at minus 139, but if you take it minus 150 or better, that's completely fine as well. Cueto going to get some balls in play. They're going to be outs today, and won't be the same for Bundy.
There you go. Kyle, wrap it up for us here. What you got? Best bets bankers and also those value menu wagers.
All right, well, let's start with the value menu here. I like the Giants minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 100. I like the no runs first inning in the Mets Diamondbacks game, and a Ronald Acuna home run for a little home run prop to sprinkle in there. My best bets of the day, obviously, I like the Braves, minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 135. And hey, you know what? I'll give you a couple NBA props that I really like today as well. Kyle Anderson, over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You can lock that in. He's been smashing that number. And how about Ben Simmons? They haven't raised his number. Over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists as the Sixers close out Washington tonight. I like both of those props as well in the NBA.
By the way, real quick, FanDuel does some pretty good stuff here. We have the odds boost. So Joel Embiid to get 10 points and 10 rebounds at least, and a Sixers win in the last game. He had 9 points and 5 rebounds in the first quarter, and it didn't hit. So, yes, I'm a little bit salty from my 76ers, even though they blew out Washington. But, guys, thank you for tuning in here on a Monday, Memorial Day, spending time to talk some Major League Baseball action with us today. We'll watch these games play out and see how quickly we can cash some of these tickets. But once again, thank you, guys. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's
Jason Radowitz. That's a homer.
For who?
Yankees.
Who we got home?
Yankees.
No, really?
There it is.
Ooh, lefty. Let go. I'm watching. Let me watch it. Oh, that's a Yankee Stadium home run. Boom. Free rolling.
Free rolling.
Hey, there you go.
I mean, come on.
Good eye with that one. Anyway, let's wrap it up here. For Donnie, Jason, and Kyle, we are sportsbookradio.com. This was your Memorial Day Monday Major League Baseball show. And, yeah, we're always betting the Yankees team total ones, and we're cashing those tickets. Good luck. We'll see you back tomorrow, guys.